good evening, everyone. Myself, Trichy Tiwari, CEO and Business Developer to Business Chacha, and we are here to continue with our Impact in our series where we shall be interviewing world-class experts, business coaches, business mentors from different sectors. As Business Chacha is dealing in 30 plus sector, so we'll be giving you a complete insight like in and out the current trends and scenarios running for all these sectors completely. And for the today's Impact in our series, we have Ma'am Sonali Brahma on our platform. She is an expert for branding and marketing sector to our Business Chacha platform. Hello, Sonali ma'am. I'm welcoming you to this platform for this lovely evening so that we can have a complete insight to this sector.
Thank you so much, Trichy. I'm really honored to be here and talking about my favorite topics of branding and marketing.
Sonali ma'am, I mean, definitely you are an esteemed private professional to this branding and marketing sector. So yeah, I mean, our viewers and me would like to hear, would love to hear like how you started your career to this sector. I mean, definitely starting from your schooling and education background and how you thought that this is where your passion and your working love will fall and you started your career to this sector.
Right.
Please share your journey.
So basically, Trichy, what happened was, I think for all of us, we have a certain career in mind always, right? It is there in our hearts. So it may not be obvious at a certain point in time, but it's always there in our hearts. So even with me, what happened was advertising as a field, and I'm calling it advertising because back then it was more of advertising than brand building. So it was called as the field of advertising. Advertising was something that always attracted me. So when I say always, I'm talking about my MBA days, right? So I studied from SIBM Pune and I did my MBA marketing. So advertising for me, even from those days, was very, very exciting. Now what happened was during the placement seasons also, I was planning to apply to different ad agencies. And we had excellent ad agencies coming from, especially Mumbai, from India. India's top ad agencies used to come to our campus for placements. And I was absolutely sold on applying to those ad agencies. However, there was some discussion about career amongst just friends, and they said that ad agencies doesn't have a very good future. So I'm talking about like back then, 1991. And there was some sort of a discussion there, and then I thought that there's no point in going for a career in ad agencies, and I didn't apply to any of the ad agencies. I started my work in Rallis India, and I worked with a pharma division as well as agro division as well as exports division. That was a management trainee job initially for a year. And after that, I again moved to a sort of a startup in Pune, where again it was more of a product management, marketing sort of a role. Okay, now what basically happened was things actually turned out in a way that I probably landed in the creative field because that was after my heart. So even when I was working with Rallis, my boss, so the divisional head, he sort of understood that, I don't know how he found out, but he found out that I had a terrific interest in advertising. So he used to take me along with the entire team for presentations when ad agencies presented concepts to Rallis India, right? And I also worked on the communication strategy for the medical representatives at Rallis. Even when I was a management trainee, I also worked on an ad campaign for our product division in the pharma company. And that's how I sort of, even when I was doing my marketing work, I was actually also working on advertising. So that's when probably the love started growing, and I started realizing that this is my calling. So I wanted to be a writer, and what happened was I started applying to ad agencies for the copywriter position. when I was 29. Till then, I was doing, your marketing jobs. So when I say 29, from MBA days to 29 was quite a few years in between, and I was working in the corporate till then. And I started applying for ad agencies. I got through one ad agency, and that's how my career started. It was probably always there with me that I wanted to work in advertising, and it happened. So, so that's how, and from there's no looking back.
Yeah, I mean, definitely where passions fall, it will give you a call and you will definitely go towards it. No matter wherever you are placed and how good you are working, but I mean, there is always a call from a passion line, and you just have to look towards
it. Right.
Yeah, so I mean, that was a really, happy and cheerful to hearing that how you got motivated and you went towards that sector. So so I would love to hear, I mean, as you mentioned that it was like back in 1991. I mean, it is a quite long time back. Yeah. So I mean, I would like to hear from you that when you started back then, how the branding and marketing, the whole sector has changed. I mean, what upside down has happened and how it is currently and how it was back then. I mean, what are the differences which you can mention? Like, we are not able to get to know what was happening in 1991, but we are aware of it today.
Basically what happened, so there were no laptops. We didn't have laptops in India. So when I joined Rallis India as a management trainee, just to give you a full idea of how it was, so it was a 3-4 story building, a very nice stone building in near Victoria Terminus of Mumbai, right? CST. Yeah, and a very old British looking building, very nice office. On one floor, every floor there was a division, separate division. In every division there was a computer lab. So like you have these labs in your management institutes today, you have a separate lab, right? You go and work there. So we had those old computers in that section where we used to go there and learn computers. So as a management trainee, I remember that after office, and office used to get over on time. So we used to leave at 5:30. I don't remember the exact time. So I used to go there in the lab because I didn't have anything else to do after office. I was staying away from family. So I used to go to the computer lab and learn from a senior, right? Or I used to just fiddle around myself. And that's how we learned computers. So advertising also was no different. There was no digital. There was perhaps, I don't think 1991 also had any kind of internet. I really don't think so. There was just nothing there. So it was only print ads, which was newspaper ads, magazine ads, television ads, because there was television. Radio, I don't remember. I don't think radio ads were big then. Hoardings were there. So it was all about mass communication. Okay, so basically brand building was more about advertising in all these media. And there was no digital, like I said, but the core principles still remain the same. The difference is in the media, because there's a huge shift from print mass communication to digital today, and the shift is in the tools and technology of deploying your principles of brand building. The focus has shifted from only advertising. It has shifted to more of promotions and marketing communications. So in typical academic terms, you will call it as integrated marketing communications. The world has moved on from physical to digital and phygital. There is a lot of technology being used, a lot of data insights are being used. So it is more of creative and tech together.
Yeah, exactly.
And the good part of all this change is that we have more effective ways of advertising today. So we have more effective ways of brand building today. So where you live in a world of digital, where you're consuming content on different platforms, you are consuming that content which you like, which is targeted at you. Okay, you are consuming content about brands that you consume or that you desire to consume. So that's the good change of it all. Okay, the bad change, if you ask me, is that when we used to go back home, there was no way anybody could contact us, and I was very happy about that. except the landline.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, the good part also was when I launched my own independent consultancy, which was way back in, I would think 1999, 2000, 2001. Okay. Around that time, there was email. And I had a computer at home, a desktop. So I could actually, launch my consultancy and work online for clients. Okay. So that was the good part. But principles remain the same. The way they are deployed changes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely, as we say, ki the requirements keep on bringing the revolutions and new things coming out. So, I mean, this in technology and this internet world was very much in need, because I think 75 to 80% things, everything is turning out to be on online platform, and there is very little less to be on the offline. So I mean, that was lovely hearing like how you manage and like how it was back then. So I mean, keeping this thing in mind, like as you said, what are the good points and what were the bad things and everything. So if we talk about the branding and marketing, so we relate it with certain things. Let's say for a company, for a product, and even like recently I have started hearing about personal branding. So for the person also, the branding has started. So I mean, what are the differences if we talk about each aspect, like for the company branding, for the single product branding? I mean, if maybe I'm wrong, but you are as working as an independent branding consultant and advisor, so you might be like giving very good consulting to the company as well to promote their company for the particular product also. I mean, someone might be reaching out for promotion of particular product only, and personal branding is something I have no idea. So I would love to hear from you, like what is the difference in all these three domains?
Right. So just to give you an overview, what happens is you assume, look at one company, okay, that you know of. Let's say pick up any company, let's say Unilever, right? Now we all know Unilever. And why do we know Unilever? Because we know that, or let's say Tata is a group, right? Tata all over the years has built a strong company brand, what you can call as a corporate brand. Right? Because that's a group brand. Under Tata, you have several companies, right? Which have their own independent branding. So their own independent way of messaging, their own set of customers, their own set of products and services. Okay, so when I'm giving you an example of Tata, I'm actually introducing one more layer. So because we are talking about Tata Group, then we are talking about the different Tata companies, right? And when you are talking about these Tata companies, under each company there are a set of products and services. Right. So the corporate brand needs to be branded well, in the sense built. This brand needs to be built because you need to create the right image of the company in the minds of the stakeholders. So stakeholders could be so many, could be customers, employees, government officials, everybody, right? Whoever is actually has an interest in that company.
In the company.
Yeah. So that's Tata. After Tata, even the Tata companies more or less fall under corporate branding or company branding. Then their individual products and services will have a separate thing altogether. So for example, so Tata Technologies will have its own set of offerings, okay, which could be solutions that they are working on, and they need to brand those solutions. They need to build the brands of the independent products in the different markets that they are serving, right? Or look at Taj Hotels. Taj as a brand or Tata Tech as a brand is very different, right? But Taj also needs
Yeah.
to brand itself, whereas under Taj there are different types of hotels that you have, which you can call as products. So that's product branding. Now personal branding is Ratan Tata, or you look at Tesla,
Yeah.
or you look at Virgin.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about Tesla, then you're talking about the founder who is the personal brand, or the CEO
Yeah.
who's the personal brand. So the whole idea of having branding throughout, from company to product or services to the personal brand, which could be the CEO or founder, makes a lot of sense, because there is a rub-off effect of one on the other. And this personal branding also works very well for the founders of startups, because initially you have that rub-off effect of the founders on the company, because in a way both are new.
Exactly.
So a personal brand can also be built for the professionals who are working in that company. It needn't always be the CEO or the founder. But usually personal branding for big companies works for the senior level professionals. However, you can also build your own personal brand. So Trichy is also a personal brand in the making. So that's how everything is related.
Okay. So I think all three aspects is kind of interrelated.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I was completely blank about what personal branding stands for, and I am sure our viewers might be also connected with the same thing, and they will have a complete knowledge about it now. So coming back to your personal experience, as your brief introduction says that you have a 25 years of experience in this sector for India and UAE, and I'm sure because you are an expert, you might be having a complete knowledge like how it works out there in USA. Let's talk about UK and other part of the country. So let's keep in focus India and UAE in the Middle East, and we fall in South Asian countries. So is there A to Z kind of a difference in marketing strategies, branding strategies, if we talk about all these different countries, or the ideas are almost same, or is there a very vast difference? Because definitely the target market of India is very different. If we talk about India and if we talk about outside, the market is almost different. We are very price sensitive, might not be possible or might not be very legit for other countries. So
right.
how the branding techniques and idea strategies is different for every places.
Okay.
Just give it.
So there is one common thing across the world, and that is human behavior.
Yeah.
Okay, what the point of difference is the cultures.
Yeah.
So there are different cultures across the world. Why world? Within India also we have so many different cultures, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So even if you look at mannerisms, or even if you look at, let's say, take a particular parameter of for example, what we can say is politeness. If we take that, then can we not distinguish between the different communities and cultures within India? If I ask you to rank, even if you divide India in regions, I'm sure you will be able to plot the different regions, like north, south, east, west, on the politeness parameter scale.
Exactly.
Correct. So there's a difference there. Similarly, if you keep India as one group, and you talk about, let's say, the rest of the world, and even divide it into regions, then probably there are some countries or some regions which are conservative, more conservative than even India is. Whereas markets like US, especially when advertising is concerned, are extremely progressive, very evolved,
exactly.
in the way they advertise, and also very evolved in their ways of thinking. So when you're actually working on campaigns or when you're working on brands for the different regions, there definitely has to be all these things that have to be considered. So the kind of markets you're serving, the cultures, what are the insights, how do they behave, what are their pain points, everything differs.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the principles that you use will remain the same. So for example, I will still need to know who's the target market, what is the pain point, what is the insight, how are they using our category of products. There's so many things, right?
Yeah.
So recently I was reading a case study which was actually a sort of a social behavioral case study, where there was this lady who was working on how to change the behavior of people in Ghana and get them to wash their hands with soap after toilet use.
Okay.
So and it was such a beautiful case study, and in fact she approached the different giant companies like Unilever and P&G, etc., and found out how these companies change human behavior in certain aspects. And based on that, she got more and more people to start using soaps, because that was the reason why there were a lot of deaths in that particular part. So it was a sort of an old case study, but it was very, very relevant still. So what I'm saying is human behavior is the same. So students across the world will still think the same. There will be degrees of change.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so mothers across the world will largely be the same.
Yeah, definitely.
Will largely go through the same emotions.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I got your point. I'm connecting with it. But still, I mean, as you like pointed out this phrase that some countries are conservative, even conservative, if we compare from India. So, I mean, let's talk about UAE itself. I mean, I'm not sure internally how conservative everything is, but definitely on some hand we find the country much more progressive than India. If we talk about the exterior and everything, I mean, how much they have, like, the hard work we can see in their exterior, it's commendable. I mean, it's very much appreciative, because everything is man-made, and even though we have some natural traits for the same, but I think we are lacking back on those parts. But let's talk about this thing, marketing and branding. So, I mean, talking to your personal experience, was it much more difficult to work on their market and their strategies, or was it much difficult to work in the Indian market? I mean, let's compare these two markets and get your views. Like, how was your experience over there? And
so I will tell you one thing. When you belong to a particular country and when you have spent so many years in a particular country, it becomes very easy for you to know the country, know the people of this particular country, and that makes it easier.
Yeah.
Whereas studying those markets, you have to do a lot of research, study, and you probably have to talk to a lot of people, understand. So whenever brands launch in new markets, and new markets which are completely different from ours, it is extremely important to study, to go through a very deep study and research. Because you need to understand the customers. Now, when you're talking about conservative, I'm talking about the kind of messaging that we use in ads. So the kind of messaging or what the rules are to show certain images, etc., are very conservative in the UAE. And even within the UAE, there are countries which are more conservative than the others. Okay. In India, we have probably a fairly more progressive in terms of the kind of messaging that we talk about. What you are probably pointing to is the development of the country in terms of their infra, etc. So that's a slightly different thing. So I would probably say that if you're really doing any kind of luxury marketing, luxury goods marketing, then maybe there will be a difference in how you sell those things to India, because the target market in India will be completely different. We are not going to talk to the mass in India for luxury goods, right?
Yeah.
And just today I read Vikas Khanna. You know Vikas Khanna, right?
Yeah.
The chef, yeah. He launched a new product range. It says Vikas Khanna with Celeste.
Celeste, yeah.
So if you look at the prices of that tableware, it is like 19,000. 19,999. So I think a set of mug, exquisite looking stuff, okay, were 10,000 rupees for 6 months. And if you look at the tableware collection, it was about 20,000. So what I'm trying to say is luxury marketing is a completely different ballgame. And another thing is, you will also need to look at the fact that who are you really selling to in the UAE? Since we are talking about UAE, are you selling to the locals, to the natives, or are you selling to the expats? That makes a huge difference in the cultures.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I completely understood what you are like really pointing out. And I mean, I was just lost, as you said, Vikas Khanna, and I was just watching the same ad, 24 karat gold tableware, and it was so good looking. I was really like into it. So yeah, I mean, yeah, the point which like you raised is very valid, and I think it's very insightful as well. So yeah, moving ahead with the same thing, now I would like to know your idea. I mean, if we talk about, like, definitely the session is for the budding entrepreneurs, like whosoever is very much interested to start their career in branding and marketing sector. So I mean, I would like to know, keeping current things in mind, I mean, now because you have a complete idea how the complete sector was with the absence of technology and internet, and how it is with the presence of internet and technology. So how to start, I mean, from where they should, the threshold level from where they can start, because I think it is much more about the skill set and the experience and getting, like, brushing up their knowledge and everything, rather than reading books or anything. I mean, reading books will not help in, like, you making expert in branding and marketing, rather than getting much more experience in and working in the market. So how should they start if they really want to get into this thing?
Okay, so it's in a way, I mean, I know I can very easily say it's pretty simple, but I know it's not. So people are usually, entrepreneurs are caught between the resources that they have, whether it is in team or money terms, and the number of things that they have to do to build their brand. So what they need to do is find out that focus platform and focus on that when they're building their brand. So I will explain what I mean. First, obviously, they need to understand the market, right? When they have to understand the market, it means that they either have to do primary research or secondary research or both. And they have to also test their products. So when they're testing their products and you have a test group, it makes all the more sense to focus on the feedback of the test group so that you can build your product in that particular manner. When your product is right, then you can launch your brand building program. Entrepreneurs should never ignore brand building for sales, and this is typically where they go wrong. So 3 years after they have got some kind of decent sales, then they start thinking of building a brand. What they don't realize is, if you start building a brand right from day one, then there is again a rub-off effect on the sales. And then you're not losing 3 years.
Exactly.
Okay? So very simple. There is a simple rule: 5W and 1H. Every entrepreneur needs to understand and fill this information for himself, which is What is 5W and 1H? 5 wives and one.
Uh,
Who?
exactly.
Yeah. Where,
Yeah.
when, why, and what,
H
and how.
what and H
How,
how exactly.
right? If you
Yeah.
answer this, which will take them a long time, which will take everyone a long time, then I think they can get their
Yeah.
strategy right. Digital is a good platform to start,
Yeah.
but find out which channel your customers are present on and focus on that particular channel.
So I think Sonali ma'am, the session is about to come to an end and it's to
Okay,
final position. And just one last question.
right.
Like, you have a complete idea about like what Business Charcha is doing, and like the session is for our budding entrepreneur who are aspiring to make a career in branding and marketing sector, and definitely the complete sector. I mean, what will be the future? I mean, definitely there is no fading away, but still, what will be the future of this sector? Let's talk about 10 to 15 years down the lane, max to max. And yeah, just last few words, keeping everything in mind about today's session, the future of the sector, some good words for our budding entrepreneurs, and definitely the Business Charcha platform.
So I think with increasing competition in every category, and I think it's going to increase. Okay, it will keep
Definitely.
increasing. The
Yeah.
future for the sector of advertising and branding is definitely quite bright. Okay, especially with a lot of product innovations also happening. Then just
Mm-hmm.
working on the positioning or messaging of that product is also extremely bright. I think there are a lot of challenges that branding professionals will face.
Mm-hmm.
One, because of competition, and two, because of differentiation or innovation. Because we
Mm-hmm.
will have to come up with those kind of insights. We will have to find, the pain points or the pleasure points of the customers, and work on something that resonates with the customers.
Exactly.
So the future definitely is very bright because the mediums that we are working on keep on increasing.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is data, there is AI also coming in. So working with
Yeah,
data to create a successful campaign is another,
exactly.
challenge that we have. And I
Yeah.
think this is a wonderful sector to enter in industry. Uh,
Yeah.
there is never a boring moment because you're working on so many different brands, you're working
Hmm.
on so many different challenges and media. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's there. For entrepreneurs, of course, I think they will enter the business scenario at a very, very positive time because they have so many wonderful branding professionals to cater to their branding needs.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
we have really evolved and come a long way in the branding industry.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
Business Charcha is doing a wonderful job of getting the experts from different fields to talk to your budding entrepreneurs, the young students, all the professionals who really want to either switch or deep dive into the careers of their choice. It's very very it's a very nice initiative and a great venture that Business Charcha has today.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sonali ma'am, for your kind words. And yes, definitely. I mean, I would like request all our viewers, like whosoever is very much interested in looking forward to set their career in this sector. And if you have really liked this session with Sonali ma'am, and if you want to have a one-to-one personal session with her in near future, what you can do will be linking the Business Charcha website link below in the description box. You can land to the website, you can go to the expert panel. There you can just go to the branding and marketing sector, and then there you will find the complete profile of Sonali ma'am. You can land over there, you can go to the different social media link where she's like the LinkedIn and everything, and then there you can create a request. And definitely if you want to like have her on your new entrepreneur or your business as a mentor, or let's say innovation mentor or advisor, definitely Business Toucher is a platform through which you can connect to her. Will make you connect with her for the personal one-to-one session, and then you can have your further discussion. So yeah, thank you, Sonali ma'am. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for providing your such a special time. And yeah, we'll keep on conducting such session and disseminating all good knowledge to our
Thank you,
for
Trichy.
sure.
Thank you. It was very nice. It was a great interaction that we have had, and I
Definitely.
really hope it benefits all our viewers. Thank you very
Sure,
much.
sure. Thank you. Thank you.